this school and I realized the name of the school, Smart Wonders School, I knew I was walking into a hall full of brilliance. When you are smart and you have the wonders, all you need to do is go create the magic, isn't it? You're already blessed, possessed with everything that you need. All you need to do is walk one step further to make your dreams come true. And why I'm here is just to make you believe that if you have a dream, and even if it is an impossible dream, you can make it come true. Do you believe that?
Yes.
So like in my story, they were telling you just now, when I decided to join the Indian Army, I was amongst, just like one of you, sitting there in one of our assemblies when the governor came with his ADC. So the ADC is an army officer, and when we all looked at him, I was in a convent, all girls convent, everybody was just looking at the ADC and swooning, looking how handsome he was. And when we went back to the class, they all said, I want to become an army officer's wife. I'm going to be an army officer's wife. I'm going to marry one. And I don't know what happened to me. I just stood up there and said, girls, I'm going to become an army officer. The only thing is, there was no such provision. There was no such provision for women to join the Indian Army. So is it an impossible dream? It is. There's no provision. Whom do you fight with? Whom do you write to? See, today you live in a world where at the press of the internet you'll find information. Even if you go to ChatGPT, say, whom should I write to? They'll give you the entire information. That time there was nobody at all. So this dream I lived on with the dream, but I didn't know what action to take. And then there was this time when I was in college and we were just finishing college and we were thinking about what jobs we could be going into for. And then I came across an advertisement in the newspaper which was for inviting young men to join the Indian Army. So I went through all the qualifications, 1, 2, 3, 4. I fitted them all, except that I was not a young man, right? So there is where I decided that it is time now to do something myself, to take the initiative. I cannot wait for the future, I cannot wait for somebody else to do something for me. So I went back to this advertisement and I saw that it was on behalf of the Chief of Army Staff. So I penned down a letter to him. I tore a page from my notebook and wrote a letter to him and told him that I want to join the Indian Army, and not just me. Why should only men get the right, power or duty to serve the nation? Why not women? And not just me, there would be thousands of other women waiting for this opportunity. So you have to do something about it. If you think that this letter would have reached the Chief of Army Staff, that he would have read it and then he would have bothered to write back to a random girl in Simla, you are right. He did all that. He wrote a letter back to me saying that he was very happy to see that enthusiasm and he was very happy that women were thinking like that. And he says that it will happen, but it is going to take some time. So you carry on with your preparations. So it was a mental preparation, physical preparation, educational preparation, but I continued with all that. And my belief, my faith in the army was so strong, so sacred, that I knew I will make it happen. You've heard this, you must have heard it from Om Shanti Om, where Shah Rukh Khan says, है ना? हाँ, कायनात पूरी मिला देती है आपको अगर आप इतनी शिद्दत से किसी चीज को चाहो. But Paulo Coelho said this many years back. He says, when you desire something so badly, the entire universe will conspire to make it happen. And that is exactly what happened. Years later, I saw an advertisement in the newspaper which said, women, the army beckons you. So the army had opened its doors for the women, and 2,500 girls applied for it, 250 were called for the SSB, and 25 were selected, and with great pride and honor, I wear the tag of being Lady Cadet number 1 of the Indian Army. Right? This you all already heard and seen. I'm here to address something again here today. Now I understand that at this age your life, your lifestyle, there are so many distractions that you have to fight against. That is the only, sometimes I say that you are so privileged to be born in a society where all these gadgets, all this information, everything is there with you. And having said that, I said, I feel bad for you that you were born in such a generation where everything is available to you at a fingertip. So you don't have to really work very hard. You don't have to strive very hard because things are simpler in front of you. But if I were to give you just 2-3 words of advice, not really advice, it's just, like looking into the future and seeing our past and seeing where you are, there are a couple of things that you need to do. And number one is have faith in yourselves. In yourselves, in your own abilities. You, of course, you have so many things to depend on, but the first person who's going to make things possible is you yourself. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
First is you only, then will other things help you doing that. If you think that that gadget is going to connect me to my future, well, I don't know too much about gaming and too much about all this. It might be true, but it has to start with you. And number two I would talk about is the connect. Don't leave the connect with your family, with your friends, don't depend on other things rather than connecting with your families, because at the end of the day, the support that you get from your family is the most important thing that you will ever have. And I know when I was your age, I was thinking, when will I run away from home? When will all this be over? When can I go? And when you go there, I remember in my case when I joined the army and I was sitting in the academy and they told us write a letter home. And when I wrote a letter home, I realized, bro, I'm never going back home again. It's over. And then it hit me so hard. But as long as you are there with your families, I know there are so many issues between mamas and daughters and mamas and sons and daughters, everything. But remember, all that is temporary, but also that is the only permanent thing you have. Connect with them. There's this, I won't mention the show, but it's happening all over these days, and when you go through it, you realize what a disconnect there is between the parents and the children these days, because the children think the parents will not understand us, we must keep things away from them, we can handle it along with our friends. Don't believe that. I said number one is you, and number two, parents. Be connected to them at all times. Third point I would say is, please stay away from your phone for as long as you can. How many of you don't have a phone? I am so happy to see so many hands raised. Really? Sachi Muchi?
Laptop? Have you access to laptop? Yeah.
So that's a very good
if you
thing.
don't
It's
have phone, but are you having access to laptop? That is with everybody. You have phone, okay.
No, that's very nice, because like I'm telling you, this phone, the phone or the laptop or the system is an invasion into our own privacy, our own life, into our imagination. It is connecting us to the virtual, the very word virtual. It's not true. It's not real. But it pulls you out, squeezes, sweeps everything out of you. Try and stay away from it for as long as you can, because eventually this is going to be your world. So enjoy your childhood, try and extend it to as long as you can. And the fourth thing I want to say is adventure. There's one thing in your life that you need to stick to, that is outdoors and adventure activities. When they were mentioning about me, I am 57 years of age now, and I was 57 when I did the Everest Base Camp trek, which was toughest thing I've done, but it's doable. You can, because it's not just about physical strength, it's about your mental strength, it's about your spiritual strength. So I'm going to leave you with that. We don't have a lot of time because I asked ma'am how much time, otherwise I will go on and on and on. So if you can just remember these things, number one is faith in yourselves. Number two is keep a connect with your family. Number three is stay away from the gadgets for as long as you can. And number four, indulge yourself in adventure. Be it swimming, be it tennis, be it skating, outdoors, outdoors, outdoors. Try and spend as much time, because what the outdoors does to you, no classroom can do to you. You cannot learn things about yourself, about life, about leadership, about teamwork sitting in a classroom as much as you can when you go outwards. Right? So all the best, have a lovely life and a beautiful day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Really, it is really inspiring. So, children, do you have any questions? Girls, any question? If you want to join army, how you have to go about it or anything? If you want to ask? No? You already know everything?
Anybody? Any questions?
I think they are.
Yes.
All Smart Winners family. And my question is from you is that, was it like a real, you can say, do the adjustments in the army as it has shown on TVs or on serials, was it difficult being a woman over there?
Definitely, ma'am. See, every time I walked into a room full of male officers, being a woman, I was breaking a stereotype. But I was not there to compete with them. I was one of them. Right? So if I want to tell them, this, see, I'm better than you, even I can do it, then there would have been some kind of a clash. But I gave the impression and I worked with them that, listen, this is our job, so I'm here to work shoulder to shoulder with you, walk hand in hand with you to do it. There were a lot of physical issues, of course, because, you know, we all understand, I can say that we're all equal, but there are physical standards are different, isn't it? There are differences. You have to understand those differences, you have to work on them and not compete. That is what made life very simple for me. And right from the childhood, I was a tomboy, I was an outdoor person, physically very well off. In fact, I was better than so many boys in the academy. So that helped a lot. But yes, ma'am, wherever you go, even it's not just the army I'm talking about, the new school you go to, isn't it? If you go there with a mindset that I'm not there to teach them something, or to show them I'm better than them, but to be a part of them, you'll realize that the route, the way is much more simpler.
Thank you, ma'am.
Because this I want to also just tell to all the cow children, because you know, gender discrimination is there, but ma'am have also just set a very good example in front of us that if you will, you know, dedicate your time and if you will determine something, definitely you will get it. Thank you, ma'am.
There's one thing I'll tell you here. Earlier on, I'm talking about the US Army. So in the US Army, there used to be different physical standards and different inputs, intakes. So that women can do only this, men can do only that. After that, they decided that we are going to have the same physical standards and we are going to have the same intake. So if you are good, you will join in. If you're not good, you will not. But it's not that different standards for different, so that is how it's supposed to be. Why should it be that for a woman you have to run 10 kilometers and for a man 20 kilometers? No. Make it 20 for both. And whoever is good will join, irrespective of the fact she's a woman or a man. That's how it is. You have to train yourself to be the best. You can't, otherwise they will always tell you, "Arey, tumne kya kiya? Tumne training hi kam ki hai. Your standards are less than us." Will you ever be able to feel equal then? No. So you have to raise your standards in whatever you are doing to be the best of the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, how did you feel not to give up in such difficult situations? Because we easily give up nowadays if we don't do our homework, like just leave it, we won't do it. So how did you feel not?
Because there was no option. There's no option. Forgeman, there is a statement that says you do or you die. So if you haven't done it, you better be dead. I mean, I don't mean that literally. But that was it. We did not have something to fall back on. So if you don't have a second option, what will you do? You will strive your best. You will work harder and harder till you don't achieve it. Because there's no second chance you're getting. So that was it. You know, there was one incident when I come from Simla. We call it Shimla. I hadn't even seen a bathing tub, leave alone a swimming pool. So in the academy, I was standing number 1 and he said, okay, jump. And I'm standing at the 5-meter board and I said, hello, I don't know how to do this. Now, I'm just standing there and thinking that if I don't do this, the 24 standing behind me will also get this option. He don't do it, and those gentlemen cadets standing there and the officers there, they're looking at us and thinking, acha, they have this option also. You do not go back. And I said, okay, do or die, I'll jump. If I drown, over and out, and if I make it, I'll learn it. So that's how it is. You don't give up in the face of adversity, you fight it.
Thank you so much.
So what inspired you to choose mountaineering also as a hobby?
So mountaineering doesn't come as a hobby. You know, it is, like I said, mental faculty, spiritual faculty and physical faculty. Have you ever climbed any hills or mountains or treks? Have you gone to any? Then you will not be able to understand my reply. Because like I said, outdoor. How many of you have done a serious trek? Which one, ma'am?
Bhutan, I think I'm not remembering that one.
Monastery up there?
That was
Okay.
difficult. And
Yes,
that too
yes.
after I had an accident. So I gave this to myself that I will try, and although I was the last one in that group, so everybody used to reach and I was just resting, but somehow I
At
completed.
the start,
So that was such a
I went to Hemkund Sahib. I think so many
Yeah.
children have gone to Hemkund
That is a
Sahib.
difficult
It's a
trek.
very
Hemkund Sahib is a
difficult
difficult
Sahib
trek.
is also difficult.
How about you, ma'am?
I've done the hills near Naldera,
Okay.
but not as serious as this. But I love the outdoors.
So once you climb a mountain, it's like a battle well fought and won. And you realize that you are one-on-one with nature right now. You have the strength that nature expects you to have. And when you're standing up there, you realize how small you are in front of the huge mountains. So this feeling was so beautiful, so wonderful, so unexplainable that I trek, I do about 10 peaks every year. But yes, Kilimanjaro was trying, it was the highest, and Everest Base Camp just now, it was the longest one and it was minus 25 when we were doing it. I was 57 and the youngest one was 19, 20, 31, 32, that way. We were a team of 16. But yes, it gives you a sense of completion, a sense of meeting your own self and then realizing that everything outside is actually inside. And everything inside can be seen outside. So it is like meeting a new self every time.